All right, today's the day. We're gonna go ahead and attack with Gengar EX again. I improved the deck. I think I swapped in Pecharunt because I was missing him last time. I also put in Fezandipiti because I also think I was missing him. I think I'm gonna swap in Ursaluna, mainly because I think I need to be a little more aggressive with the deck. I come to find out during the last few matches that it's simply just not aggressive enough. I need to like knock people out a little faster while causing a little energy mishap, havoc, and chaos. So let's get started. I got my new playmat ready to roll, and all that's missing some sleeves and a couple wins. All right, first match of the night. I got donked on so fast against Regidrago. Probably not the greatest matchup, and considering that's one of the more popular meta decks out there, we'll see how far I actually get. Trifrost attack. He pulled out Kyurem and put him in his discard, and I know Kyurem had something to do with Colress's experiment, or Colress cards in general. I was like, oh, I should probably watch out for that. Little did I know, or more so I forgot, Trifrost attack can hit up to 3 of your Pokemon. So he took out 3 of my bench like nothing in his second turn, and then the following turn he came back and did it again. Could not come back. I had like a whole bench ready to go. I was looking for Grand Tree in my prize pool. I was looking for like rare candies, but could not pull them early enough. My Haunters, I had 2 Haunters in my hand, and that wouldn't even have mattered if I had Grand Tree because that wouldn't have worked anyway. So just poor pulling from me. So 0-1 to start. We have a long night ahead of us. Round 2, it was against Hydreigon. Thank you. It was against Hydreigon. Hydreigon. That was my first time playing against him, and I forgot how annoying mill decks can be, because he literally milled every single important card I need. He discarded all my item cards, like my Super Rods to get things back, my Dark Patches, even Janine. So my engine was basically gone. He set up, I'd say, probably in his second turn. So if I wasn't able to set up first or fast enough, if I were to be able to set up fast enough, I would have had like somewhat of a fighting chance, but not for this time. My Grand Tree actually saw use, but he only helped 1 Gengar, and I had 1 Pidgeot on the bench, and he knocked out one of my other Pokemon, and I just scooped. I said, you know what? You got it. You got rid of all my important cards. I could only do so much. So maybe like a Gengar Hydreigon type of combo might work. Probably not. Maybe I'll work at that into live, workshop it.
Subscribe, or otherwise your draws are gonna be trash.
There we go. You heard it here. Round 3. So I'm 0-2. And then round 3, it's another L. I lost against another Regidrago. Shout out my boy Van. He curb stomped me right at the end. He said Trifrost attack. I thought I had a winning chance. I did some energy moves, and he just put fire energy right back with like energy switch or like attach from hand. Man, against this current meta, Gengar is struggling. Where's all the Charizards? All right, where did I last leave off? 0-3. So currently 1-3. It was against an Archaludon kind of box mix. It had like Iron Crown and Iron Hands. It was actually pretty cool. And Scizor. Really appreciated Scizor like in the mix because I feel like he's not loved enough. Although metal typing Pokemon is kind of hard to run around if you're not using Dialga or Metang and whatnot. Opponent was really fun. They're really into the BGC, so maybe I should get back into that. So currently 1-4, and then next round. That was against another Regidrago. That was probably the best Regidrago match I've had literally all night. We went toe-to-toe. He almost decked out. He replenished his deck with Iono. We went into overtime. I was like turn 1, and he came back. He came back at the end. he managed to build his Regidrago with superior energy and like energy switches, and that is my bane because I had Fezandipiti and Ursaluna on my bench, and Gengar built up, and Gengar was doing damage. Gengar was knocking people out, and Ursaluna was that looming threat, and I had like perfect energies in my hand. I had like dark patches. I was ready to roll no matter what, until he made me Iono. My energies went into my hand, and then I had Pecharunt like go back into the deck. But luckily, I was able to draw Pecharunt again with a Nest Ball. Or no, not a Nest Ball, an Ultra Ball, because he brought my Ursaluna up to the active. And I was able to use Pecharunt to put Gengar back in, and then Gengar was doing some damage, but then he switched out his Ogerpon, but in Mew used Genome Hacking, knocked my energy off onto my Fezandipiti, so I was out of energy. All my energy was like in the bottom and the middle of the deck, and my deck was this thick. Like my discard pile was this thin. It was a lot to learn. I'll definitely have to recap because I took a lot of notes. Regidrago is definitely the hardest matchup for Gengar. In fact, a lot of these, all the decks I played 3 Regidragos. In this current meta, I think Gengar is very much plays at a disadvantage. So hopefully, the newer sets that come out, like Evolutions or whatever, will have something that'll benefit Gengar. I should have played Raging Bull, but I wanted to play Gengar. I wanted to see how well Pecharunt does, how well Fezandipiti can serve me, and what else I can optimize and do with the deck.
All right, backdrop's kind of different. My current office and recording space is in use. We have some family staying over for the holidays, so happy holidays, everyone. So what would I do differently? Well, I guess one of the first things is looking at a bench protector. So shout out to my guy AJ. He actually recommended adding Manaphy back in. I've never added Manaphy in the first place, but like adding Manaphy in general. Because what Manaphy does, they protect your bench. Now I find myself kind of struggling to find items quickly, like those rare candies and whatnot. That's the same kind of deal I had in my first video. So I guess it's just a matter of finding the right kind of supporters or using the right kinds of stadiums. Now there is Pokestop you could use, but I'd rather use my opponents. And you know, Arven, he can only do so much when he can only run him once. So it's a matter of just pacing better. I think I really need to do a little more definitive testing through live. I typically just take the deck, build it, do a little self-testing, and do a little here and there in live, and then just throw myself to the wolves in local scene. You know, unfortunately, this week's matchups were not the best. They weren't that optimal, considering that I had no one to protect me from Trifrost attack. So Regidrago is definitely one of the weaker matchups for Gengar EX. Because it doesn't matter if you swap their energy out or discard it, because they have energy retrieval or energy switch. Unless they use all of that early game, which most likely they won't. It's a little bit of a tougher match. I do have to say, in my final match with the Regidrago, I did a lot of misplays, or just simply forgetting to do like an ability or whatnot. My opponent kept asking me, do I want to do this? So shout out to him. He was very helpful, because it wouldn't have been as close as if he didn't like extend an arm out. It was very casual locals. We were both sitting at 1 win, so I mean, nothing was really at stake. Who do I think Gengar is good against? Charizard. I found a lot of success against Charizards, just simply moving the energy away from Charizard onto like a Pokemon that doesn't really need it, kind of like Pidgeot. I mean, sure, Pidgeot can attack, but doesn't hit as hard as Charizard. Plus, putting them in the active puts them at risk of getting knocked out. Raging Bolt. I did a lot of self-testing with my Gengar versus my own Raging Bolt, and I don't win the matches, but I go pretty... I'd say I go pretty close, like in terms of... I do get pretty close to winning and putting a ton of pressure on the Raging Bolt. I've yet to face one in a locals tournament, so here's hoping. What else do I need to do? Well, Munkidori is great. I had Munkidori the first time I ran Gengar EX, and I kept him in this time mainly because I truly want to utilize him. I didn't utilize him at all during the last one. And I gotta say, Munkidori came in clutch for just like damage dispersal. And if you pair Munkidori with Alakazam, you can add and stack quite a bit of damage, and then you finish it off with a Gengar attack for 160. It could be pretty helpful. Now, Sneaker Talk TCG. If you guys don't know who he is, he does like a lot of competitive content. He's based in Canada, and he actually did a review of a Gengar EX deck that he also built. And what he used was Roaring Moon as one of the sub-Pokemon. And he also used Radiant Alakazam, which I'm considering. And his ace spec was Reset Stamp, Unfair Stamp, which it makes sense. I might have to take some inspiration from his version. Roaring Moon. So instead of Roaring Moon, I had Ursaluna. But I found that with my Ursaluna, just having him on the bench and like mid to late game, that was good enough for me, even though he doesn't go for a single knockout. As long as you can pile damage with Gengar and then going with Ursaluna, that should be good enough. But no, he made a very interesting deck. I'm going to take a stab at potentially swapping cards that he has in there. He does like a full Pidgey line where he includes Pidgeotto. Mine doesn't. And that might be helpful for Grand Tree when I'm trying to decide who I want to take out, because that might solve my problem of Arven and Rare Candy, and then who I'm going to use Rare Candy on, or who I'm going to use like an Ultra Ball on to get either the Gengar or the Pidgeot. When I have Grand Tree, I can just use it on Pidgeot or Pidgey to evolve into Pidgeot, have that free search, and then evolve my Gastly independent with a Rare Candy. It might be better. It might be better adding in some Pidgeotos. But yeah, that's my opinion. I did not have a good time. I definitely think I should have changed my deck a little bit more coming into this. I felt like I was a little underprepared. But you know, that's the name of the game. If you've enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more content in the future. Let me know in the comments down below, what changes would you like me to see for this Gengar deck? What deck should I build in the future, like in terms of like road decks? I'll take them. I'll take them to my locals and I'll see how well I do. I typically don't do well at locals. With that being said, my name is Kevin TCG, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.